In this video, we're going to be walking through how to combine multiple tabs of data from Excel and bring that into Power BI all at once in a single query. So let's begin. So here's our Excel file. This is looking at bike sales for the last 3 years. So each tab is identical in structure, and we're just working with a very simple data set here. So let's go into Power BI and connect to this data set. So I'm going to go up to get data from an Excel workbook here, navigate to the file. Alright, so now the navigator pane is open and it's allowing us to select from the different tabs in our file. I'm going to select the 2022 tab, but it doesn't matter which one we select. I'm going to click on Transform Data. Selecting Transform Data brings us into the Power Query Editor where we can make changes to our query. Okay, so now our data preview is showing us the data within the 2022 tab, but we're going to want to update our list of applied steps here so that it doesn't navigate to a specific tab, rather it combines all of the tabs of data into this query. So we're going to remove the change type step, we're going to remove the promoted header step, and we're even going to remove the navigation step. So this brings us back to our original applied step, which is source, where we connected to our Excel workbook, and it shows the file path that the file was where the data is coming from. And in our data preview, it's showing us the data sets that Power BI has found within the selected file. So here we have each of our tabs of data. So we have our name column, our data column, item, kind, and hidden columns. These last 3 columns we don't need, so I'm going to select the first column header, shift, last column header, right click, and remove columns. And now I'm going to select these arrows coming out from each other on the data column and uncheck use original column name as prefix. And with that step, Power BI has combined our 3 different tabs into this one query here. You'll notice that the first 7 rows are for the 2022 tab. The next 7 rows of data are coming from the 2021 tab, and the last 7 rows of data are from the 2020 tab. We're going to want to make a couple of changes here. For instance, we're going to want to update the name column. We'll just double click on the column header and change this to year. Same with column 1, we'll double click, rename this column, and in this case this is bike type. Column 2, double click, rename to bike condition. And lastly, we'll update column 3 to sales. We also want to filter out our column headers within each of these tabs. So I'm just going to go to the bike condition column, select the drop down, and uncheck bike condition. Now all that we have left is the data. And the last thing we're going to want to do to our query right now is update the data types for each column. So year right now, ABC is a text field. That makes sense for this particular data set. If we had day, month, and year, it would make more sense to identify this as a date data type, but we're just looking at it by year, so text is going to be fine in this case. We're going to want to update our bike type to text as well. This is a category. Same with bike condition. Change this to text. And lastly, we're going to want to update sales to a decimal number. The very last thing I'm going to update here is I'm going to change the query name to bike sales 2020 through 2022 and enter. You'll notice it also updates on the queries pane here. And now we can close and apply. So now we have our new query on the right in the fields pane, bike sales 2020 through 2022. We expand this and we see our 4 columns of data. And so now we can create some visuals. So let's start off with a pie chart. And let's show sales in the value section. We can also put the bike type in the legend. And Let's also zoom in, make this a little easier to read. So now we've got our first chart. We could also create a slicer to show the different years. So generate a slicer, bring year into the field section. And now we can toggle between the different years with our newly created slicer. So anyways, in this video we walked through how to pull data from multiple tabs of an Excel file and bring that into Power BI via a single query. If there's anything else that you're looking to learn in Power BI or Excel, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I'll see if I can help. Thanks.